Hotep. This video is an exception, hence why it's public. I've put the PhD so the brother don't get offended. I dedicate this video to Dr. Ben. I don't claim to know him. I have never met him. I want to give props to and to Sarah Sutenseti. In the video, Allah is not in Nubia, I showed you what Sarah means, and in the video Why Liars Hate Kemet, I showed you what Suten means. So the least I can say as far as I'm concerned is that the brother is standing up to his name. Hotep to both of you brothers. Now let's get right into it.
In the name of Allah, we came in the person of Master Muhammad.
Hold up. If you Arabas Negroes had logic and common sense, we could stop the video right there. But since you refuse to admit the obvious, I have to put you in check. I got this picture from the official website of the Nation of Islam. For those who don't know, this is the painting slash drawing slash picture of Fard Muhammad, that white man that you're looking at on the screen. Now these Arabas Negroes say, I don't know how they managed to say that, they say that this is a black man. Some try to be slick and say that he's mixed raced. He's mixed. As far as I'm concerned, I see a white man on the screen. I don't see no mixed race person. I don't see no black person. This is a white man. Isn't it ironic that you call him master? Check this out. If any of us go to Camp Ed and tell the people who live there now, on the walls there, depicted, painted, sculpted, this is our ancestors, and nothing they can say about this. But you little homies, if you go to Arabia, Saudi Arabia, Mecca, and you say, hey, my Muslim brother, look, I have a picture of Allah. By the time you finish that sentence, your head will be spinning about 20 times in the air. They will cut your head off. You won't say that. You're a slave, you know better. You're only going to say that to the brothers in jail. You're going to say, look man, is that religion? This is our God, this is Allah. Anyway, this is Wahid Din Muhammad saying how his own father, Elijah Muhammad, lied about Fard Muhammad.
And I told him that I could more readily believe that he was God than I could believe that his teacher was God, because his teacher was a white man and he said white people were devils. So I didn't change. And as I was leaving, my mother was hurt, and it hurt me to see her hurting like that. She said she walked me to the door, which she didn't do. That was normal for her. And my father excused you. And she stood on the porch at the door and she said, Wallace, why don't you go back there and accept this? Just say you believe. I said, Mama, tell me what Mr. Farad told you all. I said, did he tell you he was God? And she looked like her face went blank and looked like she didn't know what to say. And a few seconds she said, no, he did not. So in fact, he told us to not even call him prophet. Said that was too big a title for him. Then I said to my mother, how can you ask your son now to accept a man as God who told you prophet was too big a title for him?
In February, I challenged my brother Walter Williams to a debate on a point of his published work. That invitation to debate and the fallout from the non-debate created a discussion. And that discussion revealed and brought to the surface a hate for Islam.
Incredible, your vocabulary is very slick. 1,000 years of slavery, rape, castration, murder, enslavement. We're supposed to love that. Maybe Islam has a hate for us, The people running Islam are the Arabs, no matter what you say. You Arabized Negroes need to get your butt up and go and live in an Arab country for a year and come back, holler at me and tell me how nice it was amongst your Muslim brothers. How come you don't talk about no hate with the genocide that's going on in Sudan? As a matter of fact, Wesley Mohammed, will you publicly condemn the Sudanese president for what is going on in Sudan? Will you publicly condemn the Sudanese government for what is going on in Sudan? I'm sure you won't, as a good slave. But as soon as some people are not down with one book, one religion, one doctrine, one belief system, believing is not knowing, you want to talk about hate. That's incredible. And as a matter of fact, Walter Williams basically said that Muhammad never existed. You want to prove him wrong? Provide some archaeological evidence for Muhammad during his lifetime. And don't go talking about the Quran, because I will ask you, when was your Quran printed? Where are the originals? Is there any original? How old are the oldest copies? Step up to the plate properly.
I'm here in Harlem not to lecture, but to debate. Is Islam an Arab religion or is it an African religion?
Bring it on, dog.
Dr. Yusuf bin Yaqub, African origins of the major Western religion. He said Africans were involved in Islam's creation. But the Muslim Arabs have been for some time recently teaching a sort of religious history in which the indigenous African finds themselves omitted from the historical role they played in Islam's order. I submit to my brother, Dr. Yusuf bin Yaqub.
You just shot yourself in the foot. The first sentence is enough. Africans were involved in Islam's creation. That's what it says. Being involved in something doesn't mean being the originators of something. I have not read that book. I wouldn't be surprised if that makes an allusion to Bilal, who, by the way, from the last time I checked, is not in the Quran. And by the way, according to Islamic tradition, he was a slave. Let me clarify in terms that groupies might understand, because I have a feeling that they do not understand words. If your friend commits a crime, let's say a murder, and you are a getaway driver, you are involved in the crime in a court of law. You have not committed the crime, but you are involved in it. Let's move on. No, let's carry on with more simplified terms. If some white Arabs come and enslave our people for 1,000 years, and some Arabized Negroes help them in doing so, they are guilty, they are participants, but they are still not instigators. Check your dictionaries, suckers.
He says, and I quote, in this article, Africans in the birth and expansion of Islam. Ironically, though the origins of Islam are rooted in the African tradition, and the growth of the Islamic empire brought forward by the genius and might of African Muslims. As the 20th century comes to a close, Islam is associated more with the Semitic white Arabs. How, brothers and ladies, ask us, did this come about?
Most of the time, the 3 points of lame scholarship occurs. I will highlight it. No names, no dates, no places. You just make an allegation. You don't show no archaeological evidence, no manuscripts. It's an anonymous history. Okay, it looks like it's going to happen a lot, so I have to talk over it, because as most of you have noticed, he is not the fastest talking person on the planet. Now, he is quoting Dr. Ben. If you want to see what he's talking about, the video is called Black Arabia and the African Origin of Islam. That's part 2. There's only 2 parts. and it's around minute 2. Okay, so go and have a look. But once again, no names, no dates, no places. So quote whoever you want. It's still lame scholarship because you need to make your point.
And my brother, Dr. Yosef bin Yaakov, quoted the hadith. I'm sorry, not hadith. Not prophetic hadith. Say no, the companion. In which Bilal, the African Abyssinian companion of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is called the third part of Islam, or 1/3 of Islam.
What you are looking at are hadith which describe Muhammad having sex with Aisha when she was 9 years old. In other terms, consummating the marriage. He married her when she was 6 years old. The reason I'm showing that is because I want to highlight the picking and choosing that's going on with the Arabized Negroes and the lames and the groupies. When it suits you, you want to mention some hadith that talks about Bilal, who, like I said before, is not even in the Quran. So now that suits you. Yes, Bilal is this, is that. Now, what about this hadith there? He was 54 years old and had sex with a 9-year-old girl. What do you Arabized Negroes have to say about this? Y'all weak as hell. Look, this is part 2. I'm bringing the fire. It's going to be fun for me. The only thing that's annoying that it takes time. That's the only thing that's annoying. You understand? But it needs to be done because it's a new day. We're going to stop with the falsehood. Y'all going to come to the plate correctly because we're sick and tired of this. You know what I'm saying? Too many lames running their mouth attempting to teach, and they don't have no knowledge. They only have trick knowledge. The truth will prevail. Let's carry on.
I will prove today that black Bilal was a black companion of the black prophet Muhammad, who was the prophet of the black God, Allah.
Okay, he said that Allah was black. He said the black God Allah. I quoted him. You can go back and hear it from yourself. I don't know where he gets that from. You understand? But I'm not even worried about this. I'm not interested. What's relevant to me, or should I say irrelevant, is that he said that Muhammad was black. Now, this is in direct contradiction with Elijah Muhammad. And I'm not going to do no he said, she said stuff. I'm going to show and prove. I'm going to let you hear it from yourself, your own ears. Check it out. In the book Message to the Black Man in America, in page 93-94, it says the Holy Quran was revealed to Muhammad, who spoke Arabic in the 7th century AD, over 1300 years ago. In the book The Theology of Time by the same author, it says on page 3, the Muhammad that was here 1400 years ago was a white man. Not only it is written, but here is the audio clip.
The Muhammad that was here 1400 years ago was a white man.
Now, just for the record, some of you must have noticed that it's been a while since the first part and the second part. Now, some things happen. I might have lost some things. I might have been doing things. It's my personal circumstances. However, before I forget, Muhammad, I was told that his name doesn't appear in the Quran. Some say that it appears twice. Some say that it appears up to 5 times. But I was told that it says the messenger. It appears that you know the Arabic language, so please let us know. So when you say that his name was Muhammad ibn Abdullah, it means that it comes from the hadith. So once again, you pick and choose and let me know which one is right or not. As a matter of fact, it appears that most of his life is from the hadith. So it's just for the record. Let's move on.
I have the right, you have the right to examine what our elders said, what our juniors said, what our imams said. And if you disagree with it, if we disagree with it, we have the right. And if we presume to be scholars, or we presume to be teachers of our people, then we don't just have a right, we have an obligation to critically examine everyone that we read. And if we find a point with which we disagree, we have the right to publicly disagree, to state our disagreement.
Okay, you said it yourself. You have a right. But since you, I guess, presume to be more than a scholar, you are a doctor, you have a PhD. You have an obligation to say when you disagree on the same part that's there for the whole world to see. I showed and prove. Everybody could hear and can hear again if they go back that Elijah Muhammad said that Prophet Muhammad that was here like 1300 years ago was a white man. You are saying the opposite. So one of you is wrong. Okay? It's either you or Elijah Muhammad. So let us know. Obviously, if you say that you are right, then he is wrong. Then you need to say so. Now, I heard through the grapevine that my video that I entitled Wesley Muhammad Contradicts Elijah Muhammad was mentioned during the debate that happened recently. Okay? And I also heard through the grapevine, now I'm not sure about this, because the first thing that I mentioned is from a reliable source. Even though you didn't say my name, I don't blame you. But the second thing that I heard, that you claim that white means pure in Arabic or something like that. Now, if it's the case, that would be too lame, because Elijah Muhammad didn't speak Arabic when he said that. He spoke English. But then again, that second thing is not really from reliable sources, so I have to be careful and state it. Okay, Wesley, you put the pictures of Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, and Chancellor Williams, talking about you have a right to say if you disagree, blah, 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 as if they made, you know, mistakes that are so important that you need to address them. Just before I start, I heard about some tribe of Shabazz, okay? Now, is this backed by archaeology, by history? Because so far as I can see, life been going on for so long, and all of a sudden, around the 60s, somebody comes in a place and say, look, we come from this tribe. Something that, well, anyway, if you have evidence, you know, you holler, you know what I'm saying? Because you groupies, man, and some of you from a particular organization sitting in the street, reciting, quoting like school children, some lessons that you learn by heart. Then you have children, and they know the same lessons and nothing else, and you have grandchildren, and it's the same circle. We have like 3 generations that have been wasted with false knowledge. That's nothing but trick knowledge. Now, let's see if you agree with this.
And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
Farrakhan said, was Malcolm your traitor or ours? Whether it is yours or ours, obviously he is a traitor. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, that Malcolm X was a traitor? And for the record, this was said when Malcolm was dead.
God has made me a better man for you than Malcolm X.
God has made Farrakhan a better man than Malcolm X. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad? Next.
I'm standing where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand where I'm standing.
Farrakhan, he's standing where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand where he is standing. In other words, Malcolm X didn't have the character to stand where Farrakhan is standing now. Do you agree, Dr. Wesley Muhammad?
Yes, he's immoral. You can't take 9 teenage women and seduce them and give them babies and not tell me you're and then tell me you're moral. You could do it if you admitted you did it and admitted that the babies were yours. I'd shake your hand and call you a man. A good one, too. But anytime you seduce teenage girls and make them be charged with adultery, make them hide your crime, why, you're not even a man, much less a divine man. So, and this is what he did. He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself. Yes, that's why he wanted me dead, because he knew that as soon as I woke up, I'd tell it.
Now, I'm curious to know whether or not you agree with this, because a lot of people don't know about Malcolm saying this publicly, and you know, this being filmed, so you have the video and the audio, because we never really get to hear his side of the story. And over the years, it has been really sad for me to notice how delusional the Arabas Negroes get and how much they are in denial. Y'all trying to be slick, trying to say that it was Elijah Muhammad's wives, or all sorts of excuses. But let's keep it real, as they say. Who is going to put his own wives in isolation? And if you watch the the video called Regime Change, you will realize and notice for sure that it wasn't his wives, because when the allegation came out, it was a problem for both Malcolm X and Farrakhan. And they would have known that he had wives. And why would wives seek some sort of child support? You understand? We're not stupid. You can't just keep on lying for years and forever. And on the official website, it said that there was some misunderstanding that Malcolm had about the private life of Elijah Muhammad. God damn, that's how you summarize such an issue? Well, it's all good. But it's stated for the record, whether you address it or not. Moving right on. For those who don't know, we're going to let it be known who is founding the Nation of Islam.
To your best of your knowledge, could you explain to us what you know, what the $1 billion was offered for?
I'm sorry?
To the best of your knowledge, could you explain to us what the $1 billion was offered for?
To the best of my knowledge, I can, because from the beginning I was involved. I'm responsible by God's grace for Minister Farrakhan and Brother Muammar Gaddafi meeting. We did everything to get a meeting between Minister Farrakhan and Brother Gaddafi, because Minister Farrakhan had sought a meeting with him years back. And when he arrived in Libya to meet with Gaddafi, Gaddafi's plane was taking off. There was a miscommunication and something had happened and they missed each other. So I was dedicated to the two of them meeting. And I stayed in there and laid in there until God helped me to set up the base and the foundation for the $5 million that came to Minister Farrakhan. I did the work of cutting down the underbrush, paving the way, and opening up the way for the $5 million.
Okay, so you heard it from Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who, by the way, was dismissed not because the NOI disagreed with what he said. They just didn't like the way he said it. They didn't like the manner, and that was a good enough reason for him to be dismissed according to them. So you might as well, you know, put so much work in, but then, oh, I don't like the way you said that. You're dismissed. There's a word called loyalty, but groupies don't really understand that word. Now, when somebody does you a favor, it's like you owe him one. But when there's $5 million that come into play, it's a whole other level. So I will show you how Gaddafi gets so comfortable that he becomes disrespectful. And I wonder if the NOR has some self-respect, because I haven't heard them say anything about what will follow. Just listen. Article from the BBC entitled Darfur, a quarrel over a camel. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has likened the conflict in Sudan's Darfur region to a quarrel over a camel that has become an international issue. Mr. Gaddafi made the comments while addressing students at Cambridge University in the UK via video link from Libya's capital Tripoli. You might laugh if I say that the main reason of this issue is a camel, he said. The problem we are having now is that we politicize such problem between tribes. He also said that the crisis had been prolonged by international aid agencies because the local population increasingly depended on the support it received and therefore wanted the conflict to continue. I'm pretty sure he will never say, for instance, that what's going on in Palestine or Israel, whatever it's called nowadays, is a conflict over a camel. But he is comfortable enough to say that about Sudan. What's going on in Sudan is a genocide. Moving right on. This time you are going to hear some claims that are similar to those of Gaddafi. And I will just let you judge the situation, but you will witness what I call diversion, which is something that the black Christians, black Muslims, black Jews, Hebrew Israelites, and as a matter of fact, whether they're black or not, as long as they're into those religions, whenever you bring facts, they just, you know what I'm saying, beat around the bushes. So let's have a look.
What's your take on what's going on in Sudan and the atrocity that's occurring in Darfur, and the fact that the black community here and the black leadership seems not to be embracing that issue?
First, my brother, when we were called Negroes, we did not have an international presence. The Honorable Marcus Garvey tried to give us an international presence, and of course he was very successful, but the government feared an international presence. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad single-handedly turned us from Negroes to accepting ourselves no matter what shade of color we were, due to the Willie Lynch syndrome and the going in and out of our women by our former slave masters and their children, that gave us all these different shades, and then they divided us by these shades. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to refer to ourselves as the black man, the original people of the earth. And when we saw ourselves as black people, then every person of color on the earth, we identified with them. So in the 60s, nothing could happen on the African continent that black people in America were not concerned with. Nothing could happen in the Caribbean or in Brazil or in Central America or in the islands of the Pacific, where black people were concerned, that we didn't feel them, because a nervous system was being created. Because a nervous system was being created for black people that we felt the pain of one another wherever we were on the earth. But after Malcolm was assassinated, and Martin was assassinated, and Elijah Muhammad was gone, notice the shift in language. We were no longer black. In New York City, there were several black shows. There was Black News. Was there Positively Black? There was the national program with Tony Brown called Black Journal.
Right.
After the death of these giants, now the wise people said, let's change the language so we can change their focus and give them a new understanding of who they are. So subtly, there was no more Black News, no more Positively Black. Black Journal became Tony's Journal. And all over America, wherever black was describing that program, Black Star in Baltimore, that left. And then the new language was the minority, the disadvantaged. Then came African American. And what was happening is a severing of the nervous system that black had made, tying us to the struggle of black people all over the world. So now there can be a Darfur. Who cares? That's not us. There can be a Rwanda and Burundi. Who cares? That's not us. So we don't feel suffering until there's a Katrina. Oh, that's us. But what's going on in Haiti, that's not us. What's going on in Brazil, in Costa Rica, in Colombia, in Nicaragua, in Guatemala, that is not us. So the language shift. Now let's go to Darfur. If you notice, on the mall, 95% of those who were present were Caucasian. I'm not going to denigrate their sensitivity to suffering. But the reason that blacks were not there is because the blacks who could make something happen were never invited. It's not that black people don't care about Darfur, but Darfur, on the scale of suffering in the world, pales. Because now I heard there were 180,000 dead, from that to 400,000, okay? 2 million displaced. But in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 3.5 million have died. No talk. In northern Uganda, with the Lord's Resistance Army and the walking at night for the children trying to run away so that they would not be kidnapped and made to fight against the government in Kampala. No talk. Why Sudan? For the last 15 years, Sudan has been on the agenda for regime change. Regime change because Sudan housed Palestinian resistance fighters. Sudan housed Osama bin Laden and put him out. But Sudan is an Islamist regime that is against the state of Israel. Now let's stop there for a moment. See, now they said, well, these are some Arabs in the Sudan enslaving Africans. So naturally, this is the language of Arabs enslaving Africans. This is so clever, and the media pushes that so that there would come a natural hatred of blacks for Arabs, so that Arabs look like the real culprits here. Well, you don't know this, but I and my national, international representative, Akbar Muhammad, who's in the studio with me, who I want to speak on this in just a few moments.
I'll stop right there, and we'll go back to the diversion later. In the meantime, we will look at that person, Akbar Muhammad, because Ismail Allah has already done a good job at exposing this dude. So let's have a look.
Farrakhan was livid at what Larry did. But before we get to that part, it says that Larry started taking other wives while he was in Africa and siring them. He's 66 years old. He claimed to be following his leader, Farrakhan, 76, who announced to his flock about 5 years ago that he himself, Farrakhan, has 3 wives and about 12 children, from 2 of them in addition to the 9 by his real wife. So again, the question has to be asked, was that even necessary for you to be taking shots at Dr. Ben? No, it wasn't necessary. Farrakhan got 3 wives. This dude got 3 wives. So they got these jump offs, and you worried about what Dr. Ben is. Dr. Ben is not taking $323,000. Dr. Ben is not robbing the people and misleading the people. He's a scholar that's been doing his job for over 60 years. And in doing his job of teaching us our true history, you then go to Black Power conferences and you attack Dr. Ben. You attack Dr. Clark. You almost make a mockery of Dr. Khaled at Black Power conferences in order to prove your point, while simultaneously of you putting a fornication tag on Dr. Ben, which should not even apply to him. You are in an organization where your leadership is taking all of these multiple wives, stealing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, pleading guilty to it all.
He and I were together on a peace mission. Listen to me carefully now. How many years ago was that, Brother Akbar? Over 10 years ago, wasn't it?
It was 1994.
1994, 12 years ago. Now, I went to Ghana and spoke with then President Jerry John Rawlings. And Rawlings said, if you want to help ease the crisis, get in touch with Kenneth Kaunda, the former president of Zambia. We got in touch with Kenneth Kaunda, and he said he would accompany us. And so we went to Kenya and met with President Arap Moi, who at that time was over that group of nations that were working for peace. What is it?
IGAD.
IGAD, E-G-A-D. So when we met with President Moi, he sent us to Uganda, where we met with President Museveni. But the most important meeting was a meeting with Brother John Garang, who for 20 years was fighting the government in Khartoum. Now, why was there a fight? Was it over slavery? Akbar, you were with me. At no time during our talk with John Garang, which was 4 hours in length, was there ever a mention of slavery.
Right, never mentioned.
But when I mentioned the word justice, then John Garang's wife broke down and cried and said that I was the only person who came that talked about justice. Now, what was the injustice? The Arabs have mixed their blood with the Africans that live in the north. They are Arabized and Islamic. And the same racist poison that has poisoned the bloodstream of Islam has made the Arab north feel superior to the Christian animist African south. The south is black, 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 so black till there's blue in their color. So when you have, like the enemy has done to us, when you're lighter, you think you're better than your black brother or sister. And in New Orleans, when I just left there, they told me about the brown bag, that if you walked in a place and you couldn't pass the brown bag test, meaning your color was darker than the bag that you carry your liquor in, you couldn't go in certain places. And in Washington, D.C., y'all know that there was an elitist attitude among light-skinned black people against dark-skinned black people. The same game that the enemy has played here and in Africa. Now he's dominating that scene now in Sudan. Now look at the Sudan. It's the largest landmass country, I think.
That's right.
On the African continent. If it were fully developed, it could feed all of Africa. In the south, there's an abundance of oil. And if you remember in Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, they wanted to break that part off years ago and call it Biafra. And it ignited a civil war. And the civil war was to unite that which gave them power, because there was a regime in Lagos that the government of America and Britain did not like. Now what you got in the West, Brother Akbar, tell the audience, because I sent Brother Akbar there to look into the situation in Darfur, and James M. Toomey went himself. Tell them about the Janjaweed, tell them about the government, tell them about the farmers, tell them about the herders, tell them what is really happening on the ground there, and then we'll come back to why no black people were there on that mall.
Yes, Brother Minister, with your permission, first, thank you very much. I'd like to say to the audience, you know, we have a saying, when there's darkness, stand still. And most black people in America did not participate because the cloud that was around it that they really didn't understand. And then they were not invited in mass. They tried to get some to come. So the standing still is because they've heard so many different things. One of the things I want to start off where the minister left off at, when that peace accord was signed in the South, immediately this conflict broke out in the West. Now, until the last 5 days, most people in America knew nothing about the rebel group that started all of this. They had a peace accord in Abuja. The Sudanese government said that they would sign. The rebels first resisted. Bush sent the Deputy Secretary of State there to force the rebels. Now, how could you force the rebels to sign unless you got some clout with them, or were you supplying them with money and weapons and so forth, and you told them that this is what you have to do at that time? But the tragedy is that if you look at the government in Khartoum, now, whenever we look at the world and you talk about a government, Brother Minister, if you talked about Iraq during the time of Saddam Hussein, they'd show his picture. If you talked about Syria, they would show Assad. If you talked about Saudi Arabia today, they would show King Abdullah. If you talk about Egypt, they would show Mubarak. They've talked about the Sudan, but if I asked an audience across this country, what does the president of the Sudan look like? Most people do not know. He just went to Iran to meet with the leader of Iran, and very little information showing him in a picture with him, because he is as black as Akbar, or either blacker.
BS. You can see that Bashir is not as black or even blacker than Akbar Muhammad. One of the problems with the NOI is that for them, Arabs are black, because they say the white man is the devil, but they don't say that Gaddafi is.
So he doesn't fit the script of the Arab who's killing Africans. Last week, the Washington Post published the 5 facts about Darfur. One of them on there that was blaring, and Mtumi, you can bear witness to this, is that all of the people are black. So if you talk about Arabs killing Africans, Mtumi, you went into a room when you were there. I went into the same room, and the man said, would the Arab tribe leaders stand up, that include the ones that are called Janjaweed? And when they stood up, they were all black. He said, now will the African tribes stand up? And they were all black. And so everybody, we looked at each other, because the picture in America is that these white Arabs are killing Africans. And the brother said clearly, what makes them the Arabs, they only speak Arabic, and they're herders, or you would call nomads. They do herding. What makes them Africans is they speak an African language and Arabic. They're all Muslims, and so they've had this clash for 500 years. This conflict with the rebels exacerbated it, because the government did go in and form a militia. And this militia was not to make people suffer and murder and rape, but it was to root out the rebels who had taken shelter among the villages and the people. And this picture is not seen in America.
Yeah, that's a good history lesson.
Well, if I could just finish that point. You see, when you see Senator Tom Lantos leading the march on the Sudanese embassy, when you see Elie Wiesel, these are Zionists. These are pro-Israeli Zionists. Why are they leading the march? Do you really think that they have compassion for what is going on in Darfur? See, human suffering is human suffering. Don't tell me you have compassion for the blacks that are suffering in Darfur, and you got Palestinians suffering under your nose, and you don't care nothing about that? Come on. If there's 3.5 million dying in the Congo, you say nothing about that? The people that are dying in Uganda, you say nothing about that? No. Then what is the motive sitting up under this? This is what black people have to look at. It is that there's oil in the West, there's gold, there's uranium, and there's a 500-year fight. Like the early plains, you know, if I was a cattle rancher, you know, and you were a sheep herder, and we didn't like the sheep herders, and there's a fight between the cattle ranchers, the sheep herders. Then the railroad comes in, and they start taking the land. So all these boys fighting each other in early American history. This is what's going on in Darfur, and the mistake that the government made. But sincere, they saw these herders that were going to fight against the rebels, and they armed them. But then that 500-year-old hatred that's in them took precedence over rooting out the rebels, and the massacre began, and so forth. So what I say to black people, you know, when the former slave masters who didn't care about lynching, who didn't care about our suffering, who don't care about what happened in Katrina, don't you be deceived that they care about what's happening over there and they don't care what's happening to us here. If you can promote black people calling black women bitches and whores and have no thought about that, you can promote gangster life, guns and drugs, and you have no thought about that, yet the black community is dying as we speak. How in the hell can I think you're concerned about Darfur when we are dying in Harlem and in Brooklyn and the south side of Chicago? Stop it. Black people, wake up to the deceit. We are not there because we were not invited, and that was not our party.
We're going to take a quick break. Yeah, on that note, we're going to take a real quick break, too. Yes. And we're going to come back with more of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Stay with us. You're listening to Open Line.
Hotep, this is Shakandugu Kemet. This video is called Ali Muhammad Lying to Our People.
But he knew some Islamic history because he grew up around the people, and this is what he said. When Muhammad was born, you should say in Arabia, Arabia was a Negro colony with Mecca as its capital. Now, if it was a Negro capital and Muhammad was there and he was a black man, would have said he looked like arguing with me, and his teachers are telling him this. Did he damn read his book? Did he read it? Next slide.
Change quick before they realize you've been fooling them. It's funny, I heard somebody laugh. I'm not mad at him, he only knew what he saw and the way it was presented to him. But whoever that was, once he sees this, I'm sure he will laugh at you. First of all, you putting Sheikh-Anta Diop on Muhammad is kind of slick, because Diop is talking about the Africans' control over the area called Arabia. Now next on page 151, after the quote that you've put, the next sentence says, the Quran refers to the army of 40,000 men sent by the king of Ethiopia to crush the Arab revolt. Okay? Now I must clarify the colony thing. Haiti, at the time called Hispaniola, where the whole island and the place in particular was called Santo Domingo or Saint-Domingue in French, was a French colony. That means the Caucasian were running it. Okay? So by saying that, nobody is confused into thinking that the French were Africans or Asians, nor that the Africans, in particular the Haitians, were Caucasians, in particular the French. So you saying now if it was a Negro capital, you got it wrong. Mecca was the capital of Arabia. That's what it says. It says Arabia was a Negro colony with Mecca as its capital. So then you go on to say, now if it was a Negro capital and Muhammad was there and he was a black man, what do Seti look like arguing with me and his teachers is telling him this. You're dead wrong. And second, nobody is saying, well, Diop didn't say that Muhammad was black. You're the one who put that in the sentence. You know, you got caught out there. You know, I know it hurts, but hey, you're doing this to yourself, man. You're a doctor, aren't you? I don't know what kind of doctor. Now, below on the same page, it says, Egypt, at the birth of Muhammad, exercised suzerainty of the other side of the Red Sea over the Yemen, and that it sent an army of almost 40,000 men against Mecca. Because I don't know what you were trying to do, but it tells you that they were going against Mecca. So if you want to put any connection, you know, build on this, and then we're going to have more fun. I want you to witness what kind of sources are being used.
And this happened after the worldwide cataclysms mentioned in the Bible and Quran and ancient histories.
So now, all of a sudden, the Bible and the Quran are supposed to be reliable sources for ancient histories, for events that have happened way before those books were written. You know, the whole oral tradition myth. You know, they have great memory, I guess. And it's funny how you go from those two books to an ancient history. God damn, man, you're slick. Congratulations.
The French and other people went in and took people like Amadou Bamba, Ahmed Baba in the 16th century. These brothers was Muslims who was writing in hieroglyphics.
That's a strong claim, a strong allegation. I don't know where you get that from, and I wonder. I mean, even Dr. Job, as far as I can remember, haven't mentioned it. If I'm wrong, let me know.
And Sheikh Anta Diop grew up studying Wolof, and he wrote a book connecting the Wolof linguistics to pre-dynastic Egypt.
That's what happened when you try to grab anything and everything to support some inconsistent claims. Diop has indeed showed the relationship between the Meduneter and the Wolof, as well as other African languages. And I said Meduneter because you talk about pre-dynastic Egypt. I don't know what you mean, as if there's a pre-dynastic language and the Meduneter is different. But then again, what does that tell us? That they were not speaking Arabic. Okay? So where is the connection with your Islam? Here you quote Al-Jahiz, who lived 200 years after Muhammad. And at the end of the first paragraph it says, Al-Jahiz reports that the patrilineage of Muhammad was indeed original. And somebody put black in bracket. I would like to see the original quote, because when people start doing things like that, it's fishy. But how about some archaeological documents? Not some things that were written like 200 years later, because they built so many civilizations, as you mentioned earlier. Where's the evidence?
What I'm going to do before this is over is show you how Muhammad and these Moors knew that ancient Moorish history in the 18th dynasty, because they were Moors too.
So now even Muhammad was a Moor, and the 18th dynasty is Moorish history. That's very funny.
And he was only recounting the history because the Sassanids, which are the real Arabs that came in and tried to distort these particular histories, and these white Jews. So he was just collecting with his Quran all of the history of the Kushite Empire of Kemet, of Sumer, of Arabia, to try to reconstruct it back to what it was originally, because it had been distorted.
Recapping the history, the Pharaoh's myth with the enslavement and torture and killing. Come on, man. Interesting thing though, you said the real Arabs came in and tried to distort the history. So let's find out who are the real Arabs. What did you say earlier?
And when you say Islam, what are you talking about? You talking about the black man? You talking about some pale Arab?
Indeed, we must make a distinction, like you said. So far we have real Arabs, black men, and pale Arabs. Let's go back like Sankofa.
Etc. Because the black Arabs, who sometimes were called Moors, were the descendants of the ancient Kushites who established, the ancient Kushites established Sumer, Indo-Kush, and the Nile Valley.
So what's the deal? We have real Arabs, black men, pale Arabs, and black Arabs. If some of them are real, they cannot be black Arabs and pale Arabs at the same time, unless it's another case of pick and choose whatever suits you at the moment, seize the opportunity and freestyle. Let's see one of the opening statements of his lecture.
So let's get into it. The Quran, through the Qara script of Islam, explains African history more thoroughly and scientifically than the present scholarship from scholars like Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, etc., because the black Arabs, who sometimes were called Moors, were the descendants of the ancient Kushites who established, the ancient Kushites established Sumer, Indo-Kush, and the Nile Valley. And when did they do that? After the destruction of an earlier global civilization, which was called Mu, which was centered in the Pacific Ocean. That's one of my claims. It's easy to prove. I don't have to bring 1,000 books to do that.
Now, I suggest that you go back and listen again to that whack claim, then read it and think about it. The Quran, through the Quraysh script of Islam, explains African history more thoroughly and scientifically than the present scholarship from Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, etc. So basically the Quran is a black history book, right? Come on, man. You mean to tell me that you mentioned the Moors were the descendants of the ancient Kushites and so on, and they built Sumer, right, according to you. Then they built these other places. So then they turn Hebrew, then they turn Christians, then they turn finally Muslim, back to their own Islam, Islam before Muhammad, Islam before the 7th century and so on. It's pitiful because you sound so ridiculous, man, and you call yourself a doctor. Anyway, to the groupies, we could all save some time. You stop lying, I stop exposing the lies. But I understand that groupie is gonna do groupie things. So why don't you keep your lies to your fictional stories and fairy tales? Leave Africa alone. Leave Kemet alone. It won't bother me that much because people talk crap every day. See, I don't get paid for this. I have things to do. But I don't want my people to be fooled. That's why I step up to the plate. Now, you're about to witness an example of something that I mentioned before. We might as well give it a name. We're going to call it the 3 points of lame scholarship. 1, no names. 2, no dates. 3, no places.
Alim Bey said Muhammad didn't exist. So did Walter Williams. If they would have read Islamic literature, they would know Prophet Muhammad was writing letters to the other leaders of his time. And they still have some of the letters. Not only that, the non-pale Arab sources, because they tampered with the history, the non-Arab sources mention him. So you have other people talking about a man, he don't exist. See how we make up stuff? That's what the brother was trying to say was ghetto scholarship. You just stop making up stuff. One person say, oh yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to say that next in my next lecture. Alright? So now nobody don't exist. At the bottom you have Heraclius and Croesus, the Sassanid ruler. They were fighting each other prior to Islam. So all this history is real. It's documented. You can get the information. Next slide.
The arrogance of ignorance. All this history is real. It's documented. You can get the information. I thought that was a lecture. God dang. Anyway, let's hear another strange claim.
In ancient history, what you will find is Allah is mentioned in ancient Sumer. When he came to Babylon, Allah in Sumer, when he came to Mesopotamia, they call him Sin. When he came to Babylonia, they call him Nergal. So the names were switching. They said Ara or Allah.
Allah / Nana, Sin, Nergal, Ura. You know what that sounds like to me?
The moon and the crescent. which was a sign of the moon deity Sin, or Nana.
It's turning into a confusion show. Earlier, just go back a few seconds previously, it said Allah/Nana on the screen. Now it says Nana, aka Chuti.
If there was a civilization in the Pacific, which we have a lot of information on, that existed, it explains why the deities in Kemet who said that they gave all of the writing and the sciences and other things said they came from the West. You explain it. Why would Jehuti say or be talked about in the Pert Imheru as the Lord of the West? The only thing west of Africa is the Atlantic Ocean, the Americas, and you can keep going around.
The Complete Idiot's Guide to Ancient Egypt. Page 28, up is down. Because the Nile River flows from south to north, we refer to the Nile Valley as Upper Egypt, upstream, and the Delta as Lower Egypt, downstream. Nile notes, don't forget, Upper Egypt refers to the Nile Valley in the south, and Lower Egypt refers to the Delta in the north. So this is our ancestors' point of view right there. Well, at least those who lived in Kemet. See, nobody owns a copyright about Kemet, but the least is to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, it's not a good look. What we know as west today would be east back then. So the Atlantic Ocean wouldn't be towards the west, but towards the east. Anyway.
But we got to go here first to correct the error. Now, this is Dr. Benya's own words. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because if you enunciate language that defeats your history, you will stay a slave. If you name yourself after your enemy, that is one of the worst mistakes that you could ever make. How can you be colonized and then take the colonizer's thing?
Here's a taste of your own medicine. That's exactly what your Arabized blacks are doing. You call yourself Muslims, you're trying to bring up their culture as if it was ours, and so on.
Al-Kebalan, ancient name of Africa by the Moors and Ethiopians. Okay, now let's do a little puzzle search. If the indigenous people of Africa called it Al-Kebalan, and the Moors and Ethiopians calls it Al-Kebalan, the name it Al-Kebalan, are the Moors and the Ethiopians indigenous peoples of Africa? Sure.
Whoa, that's for all the Moors talking that Mu thing, all those fictional Atlantism, all this crap. And it's funny how you're going to look so confused in a few seconds.
Now, let's take one name. Ethiopia is Greek. We know that the term is Cush. So the Moors and the Cushites named it Al-Kebalan. Then we can say the Moors and the Cushites are the indigenous peoples of Africa. Never said that though. Directly. You wouldn't say it. I guess he left it for us.
Oh, my friend. You see how you look, man? Did you prepare your lecture?
The word Moor was written in hieroglyphic. Now, this is not a stele from Egypt. This is just a depiction. I'm going to show you the actual writing. I want you to see what it looks like. Moray.
We know that the Moors usually try to claim every word that starts with a M. But this Meduneter right there stands for Meri, which means beloved. Just like User Ma'at Rasete Penrara Mesu Meriamun, the full name of Ramses II. Meriamun means beloved of Amun, okay? That's an Astra, you know. Not a lot of people know about this. You ain't gonna slide with me.
Close up. More than.
Nobody can deny the fraud. That's the picture, right? And earlier, if you remember, if you don't just go back, you had several symbols. That you only have one, and it says the same thing, More. So by itself, it means that, and with the other symbols, it means that. You know, that's picking and choosing. That's just freestyling. That's all.
Now, this is in America. Glyphs found in where? New York.
Once again, you will witness how he will betray his own self. He's gonna make the usual claim that something means more because it starts with an M, but that don't matter much to me. is what he's going to say next, talking about Kemet, and he's going to kind of realize it and move on to the next slide, because it doesn't make sense. You're trying to say it's America, but then you're saying the root of the name. That's funny.
Tamir is Ta, nation, Mir, Moors. Tamaray is the name that we call ancient Egypt, the upper part, or lower part, which is up. All right? So this is 3,000 years ago in Long Island, New York. These clips are dated to. What is it doing in New York? Next slide.
Priceless. You asked the question, you don't know? Oh man, you're so confused. But that's what happened. You can't just grab anything and everything, man. Anyway, Ali, I want to thank you because at least I had a good laugh.
The 7 white men, these are the 7 white men who created what we call the repatriation movement that started in the African diaspora. Now what am I saying? I'm saying prior to this time period, there was no mass desire for black people to go back to Africa. Amongst the free so-called Negroes, free persons of color.
I guess the house Negroes didn't want to go. They were well treated, those traders. Let's see when that thing happened, according to you.
In the 1800s.
Pay attention, it will get more specific.
They met on December 21st, 1816 to deal with the problem they was having. See, if you don't know history, you don't know what kind of problem they was having.
1316, slavery was still popping. It makes sense now. You should all check out the favorites that I have on my page about the Moor slave trader traitors. Okay, I've had enough. That was part 7 out of 11. I will end with a nail in the coffin for all the Arabized Negroes. This is Wahid Din Muhammad saying how his own father, Elijah Muhammad, lied about Fard Muhammad.
And I told him that I could more readily believe that he was God than I could believe that his teacher was God, because his teacher was a white man and he said white people were devils. So I didn't change. And as I was leaving, my mother was hurt, and it hurt me to see her hurting like that. She said she walked me to the door, which she didn't do. That was normal for her. When my father excused you, and she stood on the porch at the door and she said, Wallace, why don't you go back there and accept this? Just say you believe. I said, Mama, tell me what Mr. Farad told you all. I said, did he tell you he was God? And she looked like her face went blank and looked like she didn't know what to say. And a few seconds she said, no, he did not. So in fact, he told us to not even call him prophet. Said that was too big a title for him. Then I said to my mother, how can you ask your son now to accept a man as God who told you prophet was too big a title for him?
Are you asking, are there Caucasian registered members of the Nation of Islam? Not the Nation of Islam that I'm a part of. That's right.
We are now inclusive of all members of the human family, but it started with the black man of America and woman who are in the worst condition of human beings.
So you have white American in your organization?
Some, yes. We have Hispanics, we have Native Americans, we have some Asians now in the Nation of Islam.
I spoke to my leader, teacher, and God, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I did it.
Are you asking, are there Caucasian registered members of the Nation of Islam? Not the Nation of Islam that I'm a part of. That's right.
We are now inclusive of all members of the human family, but it started with the black man of America and woman who are in the worst condition of human beings.
So you have white America in your organization?
Some, yes. We have Hispanics, we have Native Americans, we have some Asians now in the Nation of Islam.
Skull and Bones family. All right, there's Bush right there. Now you notice that? You notice that? With one leg on the other? See, that's Noble Drew Ali. See, I've been studying their ass, but that's why they don't even want to mess with me, because I've been studying that shit longer than they have. I know more about it than they do. They'll sit out there and be wild too, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you can't lie. It's the sign of the most worshipful master in the East. Sitting right there. It'll be on both sides, you know, they'll do it from one leg to the next. And so you see right here, he's in that Masonic code. And right there, this one of them old Arabs over in Egypt, in the same goddamn pose, ruling over our peoples in Egypt. We can't separate you from none of them other niggas, man. We can't separate you. You're doing the same thing they damn doing. See them right there? See them on the corner of the table with their hand on the book? That's Masonic. I'm going to show you more. See the leg, see the foot out front? See, right there you got that, what you call the OK sign. You understand what I'm saying? He got it too. It ain't as pronounced, but I'm going to show you more. See it right there with the hand on the book? That's Masonic. That's Masonic, fam. And so when you got this on the front cover, the one-on-one, you got to understand, that's Jesus. That's Jesus, family. That's Jesus! So they show you the Indians that's also in the Masonic Lodge. They accept them brothers. That's why he had to say everyone. Liberation is for everyone. That's where he get that dress from. That's where he getting that dress from. I got that off a dream book. Believe it or not. You know when you get your numbers up out of here, car play for 102 or whatever. That's a damn dream book, fam. I didn't make it. And so when you look up here, the more signs to America, you see right there, you see the crest, you see the star salvation, you see the eye for Allah, you see they say that ain't Masonic, but that is. That handshake is Masonic. Now I'm looking up at it, I say, damn, where did I see? I seen them somewhere else. And I'm gonna show you where I saw it. See this fraternal order police, see the eye? See the hands? You see the 5-point star? Look at that shit, man. No wonder the boys say they know the law. They is the damn law. How the hell you got the same goddamn symbols and they mad at me? Your ass is busted. Don't play no game. So you see the 5-point star right there? Fraternal order police. It's the same. They connected through masonry, family. They connected through masonry. And so right there you got the Eastern Star. But they got that, that's the star of our set. You see it right there. It was never turned this way. They didn't break it and turned it upside down. So you can see it better. So they need to turn it right side up. Come on home. Come on home, sister. Come on home, man. Now, see, by the star being a cult, now you might think it's instead of just being hard. You're so close in that shit. It's the same operation. It's a cult. Kabbalism, Rosicrucian. That's where that shit comes from. It's the same damn symbols. They connected through Freemasonry. And Kabbalism is witchcraft. It's witchcraft. Putting all that shit on, you know, draw it on down there, put your little candles down there, do your rituals. That's what it is. So when you're looking at the Masonic thing, that's why the polices and shit, they got the same symbols. Because it's the same thing. If you're dealing with Freemasonry, you're dealing with the police. Now, this is the New Jersey State Police uniform. You know who started the New Jersey State Police? It's Norm, you know Norman Schwarzkopf? fought Desert Storm, his grandfather started the New Jersey State Police. And Schwarzkopf is a German name. They was from Germany. That's why he designed the damn state police after the damn Nazi uniform. You see the strap, you see when they wear them tall ass leather boots, that's where it comes from. They Nazis. So that's the New Jersey State Police. That's your American Nazi. That's all they is. They're spaghetti. Now that right there is right there, that's Masonic. That's Masonic. That's Masonic. You understand me? That's Masonic. They stand you both on. Hitler's a Mason too. Listen here. I'm gonna do this. Cause I didn't beat up on the man enough. Take time now. Listen. It's a Masonic pose, is what I'm saying. It's a Masonic pose. When you know where they got it from? Look at any statue of Imhotep with the tablet in his lap. That's where they got it from. That's what it is. It's a Masonic pose. Look at it. What did Elijah admitted he was a Mason? Where the hell would he have learned it from? He learned it from him, man. And so you see him right here in the same pose with the open book. Look at it. Take a look at it. Take a look at it. I don't play no games. I'm an assassin right now. I didn't put some notches on my belt. So if I say I'm coming to get your ass, you're going to get got. Believe it. And so that's where it comes from, family. And so, there again, I don't believe that he's a black man. He's a peckaboo. I done showed y'all black deities. And so, he's a recessive. I don't give a goddamn what you say. The blackest of the black man, the blackest of the black woman should be the image of the deity. Because it's the source. But the black woman ain't God, but you'll bring a peckerwood, put him up here and say he's God. And wonder why we in this condition. See right there with Imhotep with the tablet in his hand? That's where it comes from. That's Farrakhan. That's our set. Do we know this? Does he teach this? Where they got their salat from? About an Africa thousands of years before Muhammad Ibn Abdullah of Arabia came on the scene. They ain't got no photos or no statues showing them doing these prayer formations before Egypt. This is where they got it from. The Arab was stealing them out of Africa. This is where they got it from. This is where he got it from. Nothing but a goddamn thief. Go back home. Go back to the source, sisters. You started all of this, black woman. Yes, sir. Egypt belonged to you. And the black man should go get it for you. See? Here we go. It's a Masonic pose. It's a Masonic pose. Goddamn, them men's is world leaders. They do not get up on no damn. They have been trained when they go out into ceremonies and in the public, how to stand, how to eat, how to talk. They go through that shit from the time they go into elementary to the time that they go into the position of president, for politician, head of state, any type of, they train. So he's not up there just, okay? Don't be so goddamn naive. They're trained how to act in public. There's the Pope. You think he reaching out to the public, sign of admiration or astonishment. The Pope is a Mexican family. He's running that shit. So you see right there, see that right there where he got his hand on his heart? That's Masonic. So a lot of these cartoons, a lot of these statues is Masonic. Here we go. He's a Mason. He's a Mason. I got it. You're going to attack Egypt through Islam, but yet and still you behind the scene going into the same lodges with all the Egyptian symbols, and What it is, they do not want us to have Egypt. So they attack Egypt through Islam and Christianity so that we will look down upon it. But behind the scenes, all the Muslims, Christians, head of state, they are practicing the ancient Egyptian culture behind the scenes. We got your ass. See it? See the pyramid? So you know. So when you look at this shit, you just can't be playing no games with that shit. They speaking all through these paintings. Every time the leaders get up, they are giving out Masonic information when they stand before the public. They saying one thing to your ass and another to their peoples out there. And so you see the pyramid. See when they point up, I got more. I got a lot of them. I got a lot of them found. He's not doing that all the damn time. He's not just standing. He's speaking. He's speaking. Y'all do the research. I can't do it all for you. So they already have it. Goddamn, you're already up in the air, nigga. What you crying up for? He's saying something. And so you see him when he pointed up in the air. Got that from Kim. See the brother pointing up in the air? I'm going to shock y'all with this one coming up. See the little white mason right there? Pointing up. See him pointing up? I'm going to beat on him. It's the same thing. I got more. See this? This is a killer right here. See it? Let me show it to you. He's a Mason. He's a Mason. He's a Freemason family. We got you. If Gaddafi is his man, and Gaddafi is a Mason. If Elijah was a Mason, if Malcolm was a Mason, and I'm not saying that everybody that's a Mason is a part of the white supremacist system, but there's a lot of them that openly join that, knowing what their duties and responsibilities was to lead our peoples astray. Because we know Kemet now, and a lot of this, if you had done the research long enough, you could have done the same presentation. You could have done the same presentation if you would have put the research in. See Osama? They're not standing up there for no goddamn, these men's of power. Now, if you ain't look there, see it? See it? That's where they got it from. That's masonry. That's white man's masonry. That cracker in front of our brothers hanging doing the Masonic pose. See Farrakhan Jackson? See that hand under the elbow? I'm gonna blow it up. See it? Right on. See it? They stealing from Egypt. They stealing from Egypt. I got their ass right. I was laughing all the way here. I was laughing all the way here. I knew I had to. See right here? See the brother? Right there when they're whispering in their ear? All of that, that's what they got. See his hand up there on his shoulder? Right there, see right there? It's a derivative of the same position. See Snoop Dogg? See Farrakhan? We got you, family. We got you. We got you. We even got Russell. Even got Russell. The hand. See the hand going up there? It's the same thing, family. They Masons. They're in the organization with the Peckerwood. They're dealing with the New World Order. They're a part of the beast system. I say it. And I say it, I'm comfortable in saying it. And so you see right here, the brothers from ancient Africa, how they pray, and the sisters from ancient. And here it is. When it's still. Now right here, this is Heru the child. And you see him in front of a lot of the temple. Meaning when you step up in this temple, he's solid. And so you see right there. You think he just got his hand up there? See, that's how they fool people. You say, oh, that thing, nobody would even think about it. Yeah. They Masons. You're attacking Africa through Islam, but behind the scene, you're worshiping Egypt through Freemasonry. See the OK sign? You think he goofy. He fooling your ass. See him right there? What's that crap? What's his name? Jim Jones. See him? You think the Pope just saying, peekaboo, I see you. This man running the damn earth. That, you understand what I'm saying? You think it's silly as it is. He know what he doing. You see that? See that? That's the same. You see that? And that's the same one right there. That's the same one he got right there. See how his hand is? That's the same one, huh? This is where they got it from. All right. That's where they got that from, the Ka sign from ancient Egypt. You think it's funny though? You think I'm playing games with you? You think I'm playing? So this one from the beginning was a Masonic. When Uncle Sam got like, it was a Masonic pose from the very beginning. That's the same thing right there. What they're trying to do with our movement here is what he's trying to do over there. They're trying to usurp the movement. They're trying to Islamize it. They're trying to Christianize the movement right now. So when we say 26,000 pastors, they ain't all Christians. Huh? All right. And so now you see, just like you got Farad, a white man, sitting over an all black congregation of black people, you got this ugly looking ass Arab sitting all over Africa. He's the head of the damn African Union. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? All right. And so they put this Arab on the front. What about Darfur? What about the Imam, Luke Mom, that got murdered in Detroit? Why he ain't on the front cover? Why they don't talk about the slavery in Africa by the Arab? Why they don't talk about that? Will you define the word white? White means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. Now y'all, I mean, I done already crucified their ass on that. They'll never be able to come back with that. And so right here you see the old buds, the New World Order. You see it right there with the Masonic hand grip. Right there. That's the same grip that's on the Moore Science Temple pamphlet. The 101s and everything else that they put out. See him right here with Blair, all our oppressors, all the imperialists of Africa. See the Masonic code? That's Masonic. That's Masonic. Look it up. I can't give it all to you today, but it's Masonic. Get the DVD when it come out, study it. That's why I put a lot of photos. You can just pause and look it up. See it right there with the G's? That's Masonic. When they created the statue, they created it. It was Masons that created the damn statue. That's why it's in that position. They created it in a Masonic code. A lot of these statues out here are in Masonic code. This Aleister Crowley, and here right here is Gaddafi. But they got it from Africa. They got it from my ancestors. Look at it. Man, listen here, I'm from the hood. I know when somebody's sniffing. He look like a classic dope man. He look like he's gone. Look at that. I got my touch. See Noble Ali? Yes, sir. Here you go. Here you go. Wesley Muhammad. Gonna come out here talking about Egypt ain't this and Egypt ain't that. And he's a goddamn Mason. He's a Mason. Trying to attack Egypt. And uplift the Arab culture. Talking about Black Arabia. If you got Africa, you don't need nothing else. Because if you got Africa, automatically everything belongs to you by default. You don't need Black Arabia. All you have to do is have Africa. Everything came up out of Africa. Why isn't he arguing from a standpoint of African-centered thought? Why does he keep trying to push Black Arabia? Because he's trying to push y'all ass to Mecca where them Arabs rule. Ain't no black Muslims ruling in Mecca. Why would he even point you there? If you want to be a Muslim, but be an African Muslim. All right. Fight for Africa. But they will call a white Muslim their brother and go against you for that white Muslim if you get in a fight. See them leaning? Now you think they're casually doing that. I got hundreds of poses like that. You think he chilling. It's just like the thinker. He puts his hands up and it's telling you something. Y'all go find out what it is. But 100% it's Masonic. See right there? Sign of the most excellent master. Straight bus. We got you. Oh, let me give you respect. Let me give you respect. That's why you don't want to debate. Everybody talking about sex. Listen here. I love your family. I represent you. I'm your warrior. I goes out and kill. I don't give a damn who you get. I just feel very confident that the knowledge that the ancestors have given me and the support of my family, that I come out here and eat any nigga talking against African knowledge. I'm gonna wind it down, family. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hand over wrist. See Spaghetti? He's in the same fucking pose with us. He's in the same pose with him, family. See the peace sign? See it? All of them statues are in Masonic poses. See the white boy with his hand on his chin? He's a Mason. Wesley Muhammad, quit lying on Kelly. Come on home. Come on home. But we busted your ass. You are a liar. You are. Ain't nobody gonna come up here. I'm gonna see y'all chat and answer questions. See Pope? See, they don't just, you think motherfuckers just gonna stop and just, out in the public just, come on, man. They posing, goddammit. Fred Price, Fred, what's your price? Creflo, give me all your dollars. And TD Snakes. Now, this is a Masonic pose right here. A lot of people don't know it, but I'm gonna show you. His hand out there, I'm gonna give you, let me show you. That's Masonic. That's Masonic. That's Masonic. When Hitler do it like that, that's just a derivative of the same sign. That's all it is. But let me show you something. See him right there? See, he got his hand like this too. That's that okay sign. That's the one Noble Drew Ali had. That's that same okay. Now, either this nigga's a Mason, or because I think about Imhotep, is he just a goofy ass nigga that don't know? Yeah. Or is he a Mason? He's a goofy ass nigga that don't know. He might be a goofy ass nigga that don't know, and a Mason too. Both, I don't want to leave that shit out, you know what I'm saying? So, he's sitting there, and this man is doing, he got two different Masonic hand gestures on both hands. Now look at this. Now this is Walt Disney, this is just a statue. I turned it right side up so you can see. See the two fingers right here? See them there? And then you got the two fingers right here. But let me show you, so you can see it up close. The two fingers right here that are bent, and the two fingers that's upright. But let me show you. See it? See it? Yep. I got your ass. I got you, baby. I got you. I got you. I got you. It's the same hand gesture. And so you can put them all aside. They're gonna look exactly alike because everybody ain't gonna do it right. But that's the same hand gesture. So this is the brother from the 5%, Lakeem Shabazz. You see him with the two peace signs? They'll do it like this, and then they'll do it like this. But I guess they knew this shit was, let me go back. I guess they knew this shit was coming one day. So they tried to turn that shit around so nobody would make the connection. That's exactly what it is. And so, wait a minute. Oh man, I probably didn't do that. But that's good right there. So you can see right there on that church. You know, they changed it up. It's a derivative of the same Masonic hand. So right here you see Elijah Muhammad. He's standing in a Masonic pose. That's the 45 degree of masturbation. A blow it up for you so you can see it. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. And so the thing is with the Muslims, you attacking Egypt through Islam, but behind the scene, you worshiping Egypt through Freemasonry. We busted your ass. It's a classic military strategy. When you make a noise in the east, and you strike in the west. That's all that they do. We didn't busted your ass. So this is another mausoleum that this white Mason then went down. You see the fake Egyptian pharaohs that's drawn as crackers all through the law, but you see the sun disk in the back. You see the sun disk on the law, on the Grand Master's chair, and you see the two horned actors, which is sphinxes, just like you see in ancient Egypt, the Akkad, where you see the two lines, one looking this way, one looking this way, with the sun coming up the middle, representing equal length of yesterday and today. You see the York right? See the Fruit of Islam hat? I don't play no game. I don't play no game. I got to wake my peoples up. See that? See the York right? See it? See it? See it? See it? They Masons. They Masons. They Masons. Now this is York right Mason. This is Fruit of Islam. Red bow tie. I mean, if I could have switched it, then you wouldn't have known no difference. You wouldn't have known no difference. And right there, you see the red and white, see the bow tie. It's the same thing, fam. So when you look at that hat right there, that's that. That's your right. That's your right, and you see the bow tie. I'm gonna leave it there. I went deep. I went in deep for this. I knew I had to win before I came. I don't even leave out. I don't even leave out, fam. I just put it up there. Anybody can't see it? Anybody can't see it? Anybody can? Well, let me give you another. It's the same hat, fam. Just put some different symbols on it. He admitted that he was a Mason. So there ain't no problem with that. He admitted that he was a Mason. Where did he learn it from? And you in an order where you accept white men as your brother. Who is said to be the greatest Masonic scholar of all time? Albert Pike. Now, one thing we need to know about Albert Pike, he was the co-founder of the Ku Klux Klan. That's right. God damn, family. Peace, God. God damn. A famous Masonic scholar and ritualist, born in 1809, made a Mason in 1850, elected Sergeant Graham Commander, Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, 1859. Let me go into it. This is the Shrine Museum, temple in Washington, D.C. As you can see, it got the step pyramid at the top, automatically showing you the pinnacle of their knowledge. Goes back to ancient Egypt. Albert Pike, the greatest Mason of all time. Albert Pike held the office of Chief Justice of the KKK while he was simultaneously Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite of Masonry in the Southern Jurisdiction. And this is Albert Pike at the Scottish Rite Temple in LA, California, Los Angeles, California. And on that same temple, the very first couple that you're going to see on that temple is a statue of Zosha and Imhotep, and Solomon and Hiram Abimelech is second. Imhotep and Zosha is first. Now this is the main library. This is in that building with the pyramid at the top of the Supreme Council, 33rd degree of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern Jurisdiction, the Mother Supreme Council of the world. Washington, D.C. is dedicated to none other than the Confederate General Albert Pike, the KKK's Chief of Judiciary. He's the only Confederate general that has a statue in Washington, D.C. The only one. That's him right there. His tomb is also inside that museum. Now, a lot of people don't understand It was red and white. You can see the star on it with the crescent turned upside down like the Shriners, which was controlled by Alvin Pike. And so you see it right there. That's the original Ku Klux Klan uniform, family. And this is their book that you can go look it up. The Koran is the handbook of the Ku Klux Klan, circulated 1915. The Koran to show you the Shriner influence on the Ku Klux Klan. And so you got the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, tied in with that Masonry. Tied in with the Masonry, and even the 5%ers. Yeah. I ain't gonna show you. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna show you. Come up. I mean, let's go into it, man. Let's go into it. See them dream book. When they gonna get to talk about the supreme mathematics, I know I'm gonna make them mad. Yeah. That's a number book. Just like you see it right here. Noble Drew Ali. It's a number book. Where they take, but however you want to figure it out, that's on you. You can take it. 0 can mean wisdom. 1 can mean knowledge. 2 can mean liberty. Whatever you choose. But that's the design. That's how they created the number book and say car plate for 206. House plate for 112. You understand? It's the same shit. And they up in there talking about like they got some damn wisdom and some knowledge. And so right there, that's why I took the damn photo and put in that to Noble Drew Ali. That's all that playing numbers. And you know, you go in there and they make your chart, your zodiac chart and all that shit. I know our sisters is in it and they in it from a spiritual perspective. But you can't hide the fact that the shit started on this spook shit. So it's hard to separate you from the spook shit. So when you look at the nation of gods and earth, you see the circle right there, and you see the 7. That's the Moorish Science Temple. And with the crescent and the star on Nation of Islam. That's all that it is. So when I get, you see right there with the Jew that own ABC, they got the same circle 7. So that's why when I debated Ali Bey, Wesley Muhammad come out the woodwork and wanted to debate me. Because when you throw a rock at one, you automatically hit the other. I busted your ass. And so I'm going to tell y'all where that circle came from. This is out of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, where Noble Drew Ali plagiarized his Circle 7 Quran from. The circle is the symbol of the perfect man, and 7 is the number of the perfect man. The logos is the perfect word, that which creates, that which destroys, and that which saves. This Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time, and in the record book, the scribe wrote down the logos, circle 7, and thus Jesus was known. You a Christian! That's a fact! That is actual fact. So the circle 7 that's in the symbol of the nation of gods and earth, it represents the Moorish Science Temple. The crescent and the star represent the nation of Islam. That's where they take it from. And we understand that. Clarence 13X came out the nation of Islam. But Elijah came about the Moorish. It's debatable, but I don't need to debate it because I can see the signs and the symbols. They all was Masons. But the 7 was first sacred to Asah. As we go into Amos 5:8, seek him that maketh the 7 stars in Orion. And so we see that that's the 7 stars that's sacred to Asah. So the 7 was first sacred to Asah. See this? See this painting of Jesus? Let me take that out of here. I left a minute. These are the stars. I put the yellow dot on it so you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when they usurped Asah, then Jesus took on the definition of Asah. How that look to y'all, family? Tell me what y'all, you need a little more light? Y'all good? No, we good. All right then, good. Okay. We're gonna deal with our culture. I'm gonna be political as we move through this. This is a chronology of the Bible, challenge to the Standard Version by our Grandmaster Teacher, Yosef Ben Yochanan, who has done over 65 years in the Nile Valley. And that's impeccable. Give Dr. Yosef Ben Yochanan a round of applause. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Now, coming up out of this book, Dr. Ben tells us that at 10,000 to 6,000 BCE, the stellar calendar is in use by the ancient Nile Valley Africans and other Africans of the Great Lakes region. I want y'all to look at them dates. You understand what I'm saying? 4,000 solar calendar in use by the ancient Nile Valley Africans. The book of the coming forth by day and by night was introduced in a revised state, also known today as the Book of the Dead. Now, I had just gotten into it with a brother by the name of Wesley Muhammad, and I told him that I was going to be beating on him for at least 2 months. And I ain't through. Wesley Williams, whatever the nigga name is. 1770, the birth of Abraham, the first Hebrew Jew in Asia at the city of Ur, Chaldea during its colonial period under African rule to sun worshippers. Now, what we got to understand first and foremost, that Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are Abrahamic religions. You snatch Abraham from up under them, they have nothing. His first son, Ishmael, is supposedly the father of the Arab. Isaac, his second-born son, is supposedly the father of the Jew. So, number one, you cannot take the Arab before Abraham, because that's his father. So right there, he's checked right there. If they take it up out of that context, they're now dealing with some bootleg Islam. All of it bootleg, but it's another step on it. They done cut it another time. They done stepped on it another time. They added something else to it. They changed something else to it. They have taken something else out of it. You got to understand what is going on. Now, if Abraham is the father of the Christian, the Jew, and the Muslim, and we already had a damn calendar at 4,000 BCE, how the hell is we starting with these religions? That's right. And we can't even find a tomb for any of these individuals. Right. Now, I'm taking this from the origin and evolution of religion by Albert Churchward. Now, we're dealing with the goddess Ishtar. When you're listening to Ishmael, Ishtar, it's the goddess in his name. When you say Islam, that's Ishtar. When you say Israel, that's Ishtar. You hear the Ra and you hear the El. You got to understand that if you break down the words, you can see the more ancient religion that came before Yahweh, Allah. You can hear it in a lot Easter. Astari, which is another Mesopotamian goddess. They ain't take that out. Anybody could go do that research. So what it says here, the descent in search of the vanished water, the lost light, the disappearing child was made by the goddess in her lunar character. It was as the moon that Ishtar passed through the 7 gates, which is those 7 pole stars that are connected to Asar. We're going to get back to that on her downward way when she was stripped of all her glory, records of the past. The descent of Ishtar is dated in the Aramaic Akkadian calendar by the month Ki-Jinjanah, the Aaron of Ishtar, which was dedicated to the goddess with Virgo as its zodiac sign. This is the Egyptian Hathor and Horus. So right there, we can show you that even before Yahweh, before Jesus, before Allah, that Ishtar, which is nothing but a derivative of Het and Ru, was worshipped in those lands. We know that for a fact.
let me move on. Ishtar. Israel. You see, the is not ISIS. A lot of people say ISIS. The Greeks didn't even exist at that time. It's not ISIS. It's Ishtar. You see the Ra, you see the L. Ishtar. That's the Islam. That's what that is. We did Ishmael. Okay. Now, you see, originally it was the cow horns and Ra. See, you see the crescent right there. That was the original way that it looked with Heru. But they changed it to a star because the Arab is a cracker. That's right. And he moves at night. They do not worship the sun. So they changed it to a star. And you can see right here, even in pre-Islamic Arabia, Mesopotamia, you can see where the star and the crescent was already being used before Islam. So all they did, this is carried over. As Dr. Benz has always taught us, religion comes out of religion, comes out of religion, comes out of religion. It breaks off from an older parent. It keeps something, but it also changes something. Here again, you see Ra, you see the crescent, and you see the sun. We are a people of the sun. This is a solar-centered galaxy. It's not a lunar-centered galaxy. So the crescent should never be front and center, even though we respect it for its properties. It's something deeper than that with these people. Now this is in the Quran. It says, this is from Surah 7, 152. As for those who took the calf for worship, surely wrath from their Lord and humiliation shall overtake them, and thus we do recompile the devisers of lies. It shows that Heru was being worshipped before Allah. The golden calf. It's right here. We can show where they was worshiping African deities long before these deities even existed. They're nothing but plagiarized deities. The golden calf. The black woman is God.
That's right.
The black woman is God. She's the oldest deity on the planet.
That's right.
I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard for you. You know why? Ain't no goddess in the white man religion. Huh? Is any babies in here? You know why the white man ain't got no goddess in his religion? Because he hates pussy. Uh-oh. Y'all didn't want me to come straight up the middle, but I did. But I did, and I came straight up the middle. He hates pussy. That's why the white man ain't got no goddess in his religion.
That's right.
You should remember that. The Hebrews was worshiping the African woman when they left Kemet Mary. They were not worshiping Yahweh. They were not worshiping Jesus or Allah. Now again, you see the crescent up there? That's all that, that they just added the symbols and removed some of the symbols. But all of these symbols are ancient in the Nile Valley. Right. That's all that it is. You can sit here and look dumbfounded. But that right there is a statue. And that statue right there is 2,000 years old, whether you like it or not. Now, if you can go in your damn Bible and find me anything, Noah's Ark, Ten Commandments, Jesus' tomb, Abraham's tomb, John the Baptist, any one of them. Because they got tombs in Egypt. So don't say, well, it was so ancient where they wasn't really putting tombs together like that. You a damn lie. Right. You a damn lie.
That's right. That's right. Keep on teaching.
So that show you right there when the Hebrews came up out of Kemet, they was worshiping Heru. They was worshiping the golden calf, which is the black woman. That show you right there. That's Heru. That's the golden calf, and that's the mentioning of the golden calf in the Quran. That's Surah 7, Ayat 152. Even when you talk about that book, Surah, Ra, Ayat, Mayat, Ramadan. You hear all that? They using the same titles, man. They took the 22 letters from ancient Kemet
And that's why it sounds much alike, like it does. But they did not take the meanings. They did. And so right here, the Hebrews was worshiping the African woman when they left Kemet, Chimera. Right there, the golden calf. And so, again, you see that? See that crescent? Heru. That's Heru. That's Heru. That's Heru, God. That's the black woman. That's what was in the land before. That's Ishtar, which is Heru. It was in the land before Allah. It was in the land before Allah. Now, do y'all see it right there? Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it? See the horns? See the sun disk? I'm going to put it in there for you. See that right there? See that? There it is. That's your one world. They use all these symbols, you know, and you don't understand the symbol. But once you go back to the Metal Netter and you study the Metal Netter, you're going to see it in everything. Because that was the mother language of all languages. It's the mother science of all science. So everything that exists today is a downgrade from the Metal Netter. So you see right here, Tahuti. See the crescent? See the sun? You can't say it started with Islam. Can't say it started with Judaism. Can't say it started with Christianity. These universal symbols was with our people forever. It was with our people forever. You cannot start there. It's all our history, family. You know, don't fight it. It's still our history. And so you see it there. You see it here. And you see right here, our people's worshiping the sun and the stars. Right here. Not worshiping, but praying accordingly to the order of things. There's an order in the universe that should not be usurped. A penis going to vagina. In agreement? I have to ask now. It's 2009 going to 2010. Y'all might not agree. You just might not agree. Now, I'm about to get sticky now. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm about to get sticky. See? You see the crescent? You see the star? I'm going to lead y'all down this road. They got a cultural origin. They come out of that cold climate. That's why they replaced the moon, the sun, with the star, because they moved at night. That's all it's saying. And so you see Santa Claus, what time do he move? He moves at night. He moves at night. He's a moon deity. That's what he is. He's a moon deity. Now, you see that? Same symbols. Same symbols. They're interchangeable because they come from the same origin. Now you see that? That's the devil's pentagram. See it? That's the star. Now let work with me now. You ain't gonna like it. I got off into it with the Moore Science Temple. I proved that they were occultists. The Adept Chamber, messing around with Madame Blavatsky, a Jewish witch. That's right. That's all she was. And so when they go into the Adept Chamber, that's where they're going. Okay, I know you don't have me revisit that debate. And so you see right here, it's Kabbalism, where they write all that shit in them pentagrams and put candles all over the diagram and call on certain demons. Certain demons, and even got angels mixed in. Got God mixed in with the devil, and they calling on him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See him standing in a Masonic stance? Right there with the Quran in his hand. See the Masonic stance? That's the Masonic stance. 45 degrees. See it? Holding the Quran. Cannot serve two masters now. Because you're going to love one and hate the other. So what one do you follow? Which one do you follow? See them? See them with that? All of it come out of Kemet. But you see it?
Man, they standing like peckerwoods. They take the same oath as the peckerwoods. I didn't bring it. That's an actual fact. You don't like it too damn bad. That's what it is. They was Masons, right along with the Quran, on top of something else. So you see this, Prince of Wales meets the leader of Nigeria, 70 Muslim. See that? I'm going to show it to you. 70 million. Nigeria has the largest Muslim population in Africa. Matter of fact, it might be one of the largest Muslim nations on the planet. I think behind maybe Indonesia. I think Indonesia's got probably the largest Muslim population on the planet Earth. Nigeria is not far behind. Now watch this. Watch this. See? See that Masonic handshake? He's supposed to be a damn Muslim. He's supposed to be a Muslim. They down with the New World Order. Come here playing that shit with me. They trying to run our people into the ground. And they was always buddies before they even went into Africa. The white man and the Arab has been buddy-buddy for the longest. So there you see the Masonic handshake. Now, wait a minute, let me go back to that. I didn't even put that in there. But you see that the Star of David, that the Masonic symbols, if you outline the edges of it, it's nothing but the Star of David. They interchangeable. All of that shit is interchangeable. It comes from the same origin family. So the Jew is he's the author of Masonry. I'm just gonna tell you flat out. The Jew is the author of every damn religion that exists today. Every one of them. Masonry, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, the Jew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So a lot of people said that this right here, I don't know exactly the name. They try to say that's homosexuality. A lot of people try to say them two, they're supposed to be twins and that they kissing. But in actuality, what they doing is, let me go back. It's like me and this brother standing. And so he's not going to his mouth, he's going to his ear. And so they're trying to say he's kissing, but they're not. So you see right here where the Mason took the same stance, but he's going to his ear. He's whispering in his ear. These are brothers of the craft. You see that now? He didn't understand what it was. So he's going to kiss him in the damn mouth. He's going to go kiss him in the damn mouth. The Arab is a homosexual. And I'm just going to tell you that to you. I'm telling you to the bottom of my heart that it's a fact that they kiss each other. Nigga, don't get that close to me and my mouth, nigga. If a man, I don't care who you is, don't make no mistake and kiss me. Don't even get that close. Because I'm going to hurt you. Now look at this. Now what you got to understand is driving. Come out of Romania. If you go back far enough, you'll understand that's Khazaria. Go get the 13th tribe. That's where that shit come from. Kabbalism. It came out of Khazaria. Before they became Jews, they was Khazar. That's where Sufism come from, which is the mystical form of Islam. That's where Kabbalism come from. They was all practicing that before they got a Quran, before they got a Torah, before they got a Bible. They was into that Kabbalism. This Khazarian. This is a smaller portion of it, but it came on around. This is Turkey, right here, all of it mixed. So you see right here, Madonna, who practices Kabbalah. See, this is the Kabbalah, this is Sufism. And you see the Sufis, they have that fez on their head, and they be high. They go take them a sniffle, a hayride, and they spin. You see, they call them the whirling dervishes, and they just spin. You understand what I'm saying? And I guess they be so damn high, they don't even know they spinning no more. They just spin all up into the ninth ether some damn way. This is what they doing. And so you see here, you see the witch's hat with the star at the top, and you see the Christmas tree with the star at the top. It's interchangeable. It's Kabbalism. All that, I'm going to show you. I'm just warming y'all up. See the Kabbalah tree? See the different colors? These are the bulbs. See the sun at the top, and over here you see the bulb with the tree at the top. The Jew is the one that broke. If y'all go to any store this Christmas, the Jew is the one selling all them damn toys. He don't even practice Christmas, but he's the man that produces all the toys that y'all go buy. He creates the damn holiday. The holiday is not ran by Christians, it's ran by Jews. Flat out. And so you see right here, you see the Kabbalah tree. It's the same thing. You see the star at the top, and you see these other bugs. They playing with y'all. That shit is witchcraft. And hell, you gonna drag a damn tree in your living room. That don't even make no damn sense. Don't y'all know that's idolatry? That's white people's idolatry. Because that's a damn evergreen tree. That comes from the north. You still worshiping white people. Nah. You see this? This cracker right here? That's Aleister Crowley. Sick ass cracker. Sick. He's responsible for bringing Satanism into rock and roll. Him right there. He's responsible. And so you see Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Kabbalism. They playing with the cards. Them tarot cards. See, they done flipped the script now. And they got the kids messing with it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Kabbalism. I'm telling you, look at all the monsters they got on there. If you go get a 5th and 6th books of Moses, open that shit up. And they got the different diagrams inside of it because it's a Kabbalah. And you put it out there, you draw it on the wall, you put your candles on there, and you say the ritual, the incantations. And it's supposed to bring about whatever the ritual is supposed to bring about. That's Kabbalism. That's witchcraft. So you see them right there? You see them throwing them cards? All them different demons and shit? That's the early tarot cards. Where they messing with all that fucking witchcraft. On the 5. Yeah. Let me give him a 5. Okay. So you see these tarot cards where the gypsies come out and perform all type of, rituals where they try and tell you your damn future. If you don't get away from that damn gypsy, you ain't gonna have no damn future. Because they're gonna talk you up out of your future. So this is early Kabbalism where they came in and they started mystifying a lot of our images in Kemet and putting that early witchcraft into it. And so you see right there, even with the X-Men, Gambit throwing that card. See that gypsy with them cards? That's what it is. Y'all need to leave that shit alone. Don't let your babies play with none of that. Saying what's on them damn cards. That's incantation. You practicing Kabbalism and don't even know it. Because the Jew making up everything in this on this planet Earth. All media. So you are practicing Kabbalism and you don't even know it when you turn that damn TV on because they done hit it all in the broadcast. So you see right there. The different demons and shit. Beast King. You understand? On the lava golem and all that shit. So now, I'm about to get deep. My heart went to racing because I don't think by the time I get up in that 5th one from this one, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. You got right here, you got Hellraiser, Pinhead. And you see him messing with that cube. He unlocks it. You got chambers that he have to unlock it, and it'll bring demons from up out of here. And so you see right there, the Kabbalists. See how he's turning the tree? You understand what I'm saying? Wait a minute now. See that? That's the box. That's the box. Wake up. Y'all want to play games? Y'all want to play the little toys that these crackers put out there for you? Nigga, when you don't understand it, if you can get it to where, all the colors, that's the same thing when he cracks that open and he brings that damn demon up out of the underworld. Watch that sick shit. I believe Hellraiser is the most sickest of any demon that they ever created. He's the sickest. I can't even watch that shit. That's the sickest. That's the sickest. Now, this is a demon up in it's like in the Netherlands.
Their Christmas is called, it's not Santa Claus, it's Santa Claus. And this is his helper. He's enchained a black demon to be his helper that, carries the bags for him and everything. This is in the Netherlands. This is in the Netherlands. And this is actually a postcard that they send around. This is what they think about you. This is your Christmas. So when you go practicing that Christmas shit, this is what you practice. That's Kabbalism. Now, understand me, family, understand me with this. Kabbalah, Kaaba. Kabbalah, Kaaba. One white deity with a cube, another white deity with a cube. Oh, y'all don't want to, that's what was there before Muhammad. They had 360 idols in the Kaaba. They was practicing Kabbalah. That's exactly what they was practicing. That's exactly what they was practicing. Why does he got a veil over his face? Wait a minute, no, let me go to that. Okay, you see that? In Hellraiser, they would have these damn chains come out of nowhere. Pinhead would call them, bring the chain, and the chains will be coming all out the sky, hitting these people in the face, hooks, and pulling their face like that. They still doing it, family. See them chains right there? Them is the chains that drug James Huh? See it? See it? Huh? That was a Kabbalistic ritual. See it? Those are the chains that drug our brother and dismembered his body. They was doing that in slavery, family. I'm sorry. That's Kabbalism. So this is what I took up out of this is up out of the 5th and 6th books of Moses. That's one of those diagrams. And this particular demon, Mephisto, that's a demon. You can go look it up. Mephisto, he's a demon. See that? See that diagram in the middle? See the square inside of the circle? That right there is the box for Hellraiser. It's a square with the circle. Now it's going to switch a little somewhat, but it's the same thing. Take it back. See it? There it is. That's who Pinhead is, Mephisto. He's a demon. He's a white demon that they call up. And so, I'm sorry, family. I'm going to go 100 on this one. That's what it is. It was an early shrine to Kabbalism. I'm sorry. Most Muslims will tell you that they was pagan heathens before Muhammad. That they had them idols in there. That's what they was practicing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, family. And so the reason why that he has a veil over his face. Look up. This is the reason why he has a veil over his face, because if they show what was up under it, that's what it would be. That's what it would be. That's what it would be. There's no reason for you not to show his face. There's no reason for you to not show his face. A lot of this was added. A lot of this was added. A lot of them Kabbalists added a lot of this information. They hide a lot of the information. When you go off in the Bible and it's talking about beasts that got 12 heads and shit, that shit is in Kabbalism. You can go into them Kabbalists and they'll have the actual drawings just like you seen the other one. And they would draw that shit on the ground and they would do their rituals on that particular drawing. That's what Kabbalism is. One form of it is the Ouija board. That's one form of Kabbalism. So there it is, family. So Jesus is Serapis. Jesus is Muhammad. Jesus is Zoroaster. Jesus is Zeus. All of the white deities is the same deity.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
On its southeast corner, framed in silver, rests something called the Black Stone. Some believe that it fell from the heavens, and that it was one of the building stones used by Abraham. Many builders try to touch or kiss the stone.